Good afternoon. Just want to present some information that's going on right now in the county jail and to put out facts because there's a lot of misinformation that's out there right now. First and foremost, there's been 5 overdoses, but there's been 1 death. All this has occurred, and the other one too, I'm sorry, the other part too is drugs are not rampant at the jail. This seems to our investigation, everything that we have at this point, I'll explain to it, but it seems like there has been 1 person introducing it, and so what we're doing right now is tracking a lot of it down. So, but it's not rampant out there, I can promise you that. We're talking about minuscule amounts, but minuscule amounts and the drugs that we're talking about can kill. As of last Thursday, we've had 5 overdoses. So on last Thursday, we had an overdose. Person was given, the inmate was given 2 shots of Narcan, and they lived. On Friday and Saturday, we had 2 other overdoses. Both of them were also deployed with 2 cans of Narcan each, and they lived. During that time period, we sent in a lot of members of the sheriff's office. A lot of detention deputies were working on this. We brought canines in, and we searched the specific areas that we believe through our investigation where this small amount of narcotics was. We found the individual that brought it in. They disclosed that they had brought it in into the jail. And so now there's a federal investigation. I can't provide you that person's name, but this person disclosed they had brought this amount in. So I can tell you that was a very thorough area for those specific areas. As of last night and this morning, we had 2 more overdoses. 1 person was given 4 doses of Narcan and survived. The other person early this morning was given 4 doses of Narcan but died. So I can tell you this is what you're seeing right now, and I know there's people out there and they said, what is going on at the jail? We have mass movement of inmates. We brought in a lot of personnel because it is a much broader search right now to find the amounts of drug that this individual brought in. But I can tell you, we're talking about meth, and we believe it's possibly laced with opioids. So when you're talking about fentanyl, carfentanil, you're talking about specks of sand, the amount of, that can kill somebody. So we are looking for very small amounts of basically poison in there. And so this is very dangerous for everybody who's in there, our deputies, the canines, and the inmates. So we have to continue to go on, make this a very thorough search and look for it. But I can tell you we're doing everything we can because this is a societal issue. This is something that happens in jails, prisons, anywhere across this country. You know, we're dealing with opioids, we're dealing with addiction, and people will do anything to get these drugs. So with that, is there any questions I can answer?
How are you assuring the deputies' safety and the inmates' safety during this time, since it's obviously so good you're receiving a small amount?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost the same thing we deal with on the streets and in the jail all the time. You know, our deputies, they carried an Narcan. We have medical professionals out there. We have people that are slow and methodical searches. And so we are doing everything we can to make sure we do. But it's not just through this search. This is what we deal with every day, unfortunately. We can walk into a building, anybody right now in this room, anywhere where we go, a little bit of fentanyl, carfentanil, these opioids can kill. And so this is a huge issue. But no, right now we have medical professionals out there working with us, going through and sweeping. But that's why you're seeing large movement of inmates out there. I can't even say that right now. But large movement of inmates are going on right now to make sure that we can go through and thoroughly sweep these areas. But these individuals made a choice. They made a choice to take these drugs. So that can never be lost in this situation.
How does someone sneak that in?
I don't want to get through the procedures. There's security issues that are protected of what we do when inmates come in there. But you're talking about little specks. You're talking about, you know, this is not like somebody opening up a trunk of a car and you're seeing kilos and you're seeing large amounts. You're seeing tiny little amounts in there. And so I can allow your imagination to go where it wants to go. I cannot allow our procedures and policies of what we do because then people are going to try to bypass them. But this is something that we all face. This is something every prison, every jail, everything faces. We're not unique, unfortunately. We're just dealing with that situation right now.
How do you stop this then? I mean, because I'm guessing this has happened at, like you said, other prisons and here before. I mean, how do you stop it if it's, as you said, let your imagination go, but if it's in a body cavity, how do you find it?
You know, that is the $1 million question. Nothing is ever 100% fail-proof. Nothing, unfortunately. And so that's one of those things, we do everything we can. We have layers that we go through to get through, but if just that little tiny bit goes in there and gets in there, those are those type of things. And somebody uses it, they made that choice to use it, they made that choice, and unfortunately we deal with the consequences of it.
I imagine it's incredibly dangerous for the person smuggling it as well. If the plastic bag or whatever were to break, I mean, that is now absorbed into them, and I imagine in a larger quantity than somebody else would be doing it.
No, that if people smuggling stuff in through body cavities is always something that, is a threat and to that individual. They make that choice, they take that risk, and yes, they talk about it in different things where people, use balloons and something like that, and they try to transport across the border through a plane, driving, and they've exploded, and then unfortunately it's an overdose. So those are those type of things that they deal with, and that's their choice.
Do you see any change of policies and procedure, or at least an examination of what's going on as a method of preventing in the future?
Yeah, everything we do, we follow up with an after-action report. So find out after actions, how did this individual come in? What did they do? Could this have been prevented? So yes, we're always going to update. We're always going to try to get better, because even on your best days, you can still get better. So this is one of those things that, we're going to look at this individual, find out exactly what were the procedures, keep investigating it, but then look at our own procedures, because you have to red team our own selves. And red teaming is when you try to find your own vulnerabilities yourself. And so we're always trying to find our own vulnerabilities. How can we improve on them? And this is unfortunately one of those situations that, a little tiny bit can cause a lot of damage, and it's very tough.
Do you guys stop a lot of it, or do you see how much do you guys stop in a month or a week? Or
I don't have the statistics on how much we actually stop, but I know we do stop. I said we have very good policies and procedures that we have in place already, and so we're able to stop a lot that comes in there. But you have to look at the population we're dealing with. I mean, right now we have 1,659 inmates in our jail. I can't tell you how many people have mental health and substance abuse issues. If you're an addict, you will do everything in your power to keep a drug. You're going to do everything in your power to get drugs. And so you're fighting with an addiction issue that is going to do everything in their power to keep that drug going. And so it's not like they come into the jail and they're like, okay, now I'm going to be normal and I want to be clean, I'm going to be fine. That addiction does not stop the moment they get in that jail. And even when they're coming into the jail, they're going to do everything to continue that addiction. So it's a very tough process that we fight every single day. You never hear the rest of the year when things are going great and everything's going well. You hear only the time when that small little amount comes in. That small little amount got in, 5 people made a choice to use the drug, 1 died because of it. I give credit to our members. We were able to save 4 other lives using Narcan. It's, when you hear giving somebody 4 doses of Narcan, they're still dying, to me, and I don't know this is just my hypothetical guess, is that either that was an extremely strong amount, or that person has been using for so long that that Narcan isn't even working for them anymore. So this is a very dangerous situation that we deal with all the time. We deal with it on the street, and we deal with it now in the jail too.
Does every detention deputy have Narcan, or how long have you guys had that?
Yeah, we've had Narcan probably over a year right now. Detention deputies have them, but when you're going through booking area, and we have a full-time medical staff in there, and that medical staff ran down there, and I heard the story this morning, how heartbroken the people that were working on this individual was, and I got this secondhand, but they were very upset. Somebody died that they were trying to save, and so they said, I tried to deploy as much Narcan as I could, I just couldn't bring them back. That's heartbreaking.
And to be clear, all 5 overdoses, including this 1 death, are they all connected to the same person who smuggled it in?
That's the everything that we have so far in the investigation leads us to that information.
And then would that person who smuggled it in be charged with murder or anything?
As I said, this is part of a federal investigation now,
Okay.
and so if we can go back and link everything, I absolutely want to work with the U.S. Attorney's Office to put as much pressure as we can on this individual to provide us all the information they can, but at the same time in my belief, this person led to the death of this individual.
Now, is this a case where the drugs were handed off by a visitor to this individual, or was the individual arrested and already hiding?
The individual was arrested.
And he came in already hiding?
Under the investigation, it appears that the individual was arrested and brought this substance into the jail. All right?
Thanks.
Thank you all very much.